is News 3 Now at 6.
It has been 3 full days now and still no specific word from Wisconsin health leaders on using the Johnson & Johnson vaccine again.
Other states have since the FDA gave the okay. Amanda Quintana joins us with what Wisconsin's vaccinators feel they're supposed to be doing.
Yes, that pause was lifted back on Friday, but this weekend we haven't heard of any vaccinators locally starting to use the Johnson & Johnson shots again, even though there are thousands of doses ready to be used.
At Fitchburg Family Pharmacy, there are more than 1,000 doses of the J&J vaccine that have been sitting in the fridge for almost 2 weeks. Thad Schumacher plans to use them at a clinic on Saturday, hoping to hear something from the state by then.
The language is kind of vague.
The last press release about J&J from DHS on the 13th says vaccinators should hold on to the vaccine until federal review has been completed. That happened on Friday.
Maybe that means that we are in a place where we could use it. We just usually you hear something from the state and maybe they left it open like that so they wouldn't have to come back out and say something.
Even though there are at least 10,000 doses of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine sitting in refrigerators across the state that the federal government says can be used, many vaccinators are waiting.
There is a little bit of a delay in the sense that we have to wait for the green light from DHS and some educational materials to come in before we're allowed to restart.
Public Health Madison and Dane County isn't sure yet when or what DHS might provide, but they want to have all the information before starting the shots again.
We want to be prepared to be able to answer anybody's questions about J&J and what that means for them.
Schumacher is happy to be able to use it as soon as possible, hoping the one-and-done perk gets more people to show up to their clinics.
I do know that they had people who were stating they were not going to come to our clinic at the Boys and Girls Club, especially this past Saturday, because we weren't using Johnson & Johnson.
And it frees up vaccinators to reach more people even faster.
Even when Johnson & Johnson resumes here at the Alliant Energy Center, you won't be able to choose if you want to get Johnson & Johnson or Pfizer or Moderna. You simply get the vaccine that is available when you come here for your appointment. If you get Johnson & Johnson, they just might have a few more questions for you and talk to you a little bit about the risk.
Amanda, thank you. Temperatures continue to warm up again tomorrow, and let's check your first warn forecast. Here is Chief Meteorologist Gary Ganalti. Gary.
Boy, today seems a lot different than yesterday, that's for sure. Let's start out by taking a look at a time lapse from the WISC Skycam. This is looking out toward the south, and you'll see that there were some controlled burns out there. You can see the smoke from those, but notice the clouds moving from basically from the right side of the picture to the left side of the picture. Those are upper level winds moving the high level clouds. Watch what happens though as the warm front comes through. Notice the shift in the cloud direction. That's as the strong southerly winds started to kick in. Those temperatures really started to warm up. But all the rain has been in the northern part of the state. Some showers and thunderstorms, even some snow over the eastern UP of Michigan. But here in southern Wisconsin right now, we are pretty much precipitation free. Low temperatures this morning, middle to upper 30s. Madison dropped to 36 degrees, but take a look where temperatures are now. About 40 degrees warmer. We're at 75. Janesville was at 81 last hour. They're still at 79. Temperatures are a little cooler north of the Dells, still in the 50s there. Rainfall, though, that we could use, and hopefully we'll get some tomorrow night and Wednesday with perhaps somewhere between about a ½ inch and an inch of rain north of Madison, a little bit lesser amounts to the south. Look for temperatures to only drop into the lower 60s tonight with a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm. Highs tomorrow near 80. Again, a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm late in the day. Better chances to arrive tomorrow night. We'll have more details in weather in a few minutes.
Across Wisconsin, health officials confirmed 367 new COVID-19 cases. That is below the 7-day rolling average of 602. No new deaths were recorded today, but an additional 34 people are in the hospital. More than 31% of Wisconsinites are now fully vaccinated. 42% have gotten at least one dose. In Dane County, 41% of people are fully vaccinated. Almost 58% have gotten at least one shot. The Goodman Community Center is hosting a series of vaccine clinics and education sessions over the next few months. Doctors from the African American Health Network, along with students from the UW-Madison School of Pharmacy, will lead those efforts. The goal is to address concerns and provide information, then offer the vaccine on site. To register for an appointment, you can call the Goodman Center.
More than 139 million Americans have gotten at least one dose of a vaccine. That's more than 53% of adults. But in a new CBS News poll, more than 1 in 5 people, 20 22% said they would not be getting the vaccine. Another 18% answered maybe. Well, among the nearly 4 in 10 people in CBS's poll who say they might not or will not get a vaccine, 53% say they're worried that vaccines are, quote, still too untested. 40% are worried about side effects. About half of Republicans polled were hesitant about getting the vaccine. One prominent Republican seemed to encourage that hesitancy. Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin said he is, quote, suspicious of the ongoing push to vaccinate all Americans.
I think we probably should have limited the distribution to the vulnerable. To people that really aren't, to the very young, I see no reason to be pushing vaccines on people.
Now, Wisconsin doctors are calling out Senator Johnson for making inaccurate and misleading claims, and Dr. Anthony Fauci warned against Senator Johnson's take.
It doesn't make any sense. The more people you get vaccinated, the more people you protect, and there is the issue when you get a critical number of people vaccinated, you really have a blanket of protection over the entire community.
While it's assumed that young people may have lesser effects from COVID, which is true, we're seeing a big resurgence right in your state of Michigan, where there's a big spike with young people who are getting hospitalized and some even being placed in the ICU.
Today, local advocacy groups and activists are calling attention to the Protect to Right to Organize Act that is now pending before the U.S. Senate. It has already passed the House. The Wisconsin AFL-CIO and Citizen Action of Wisconsin held an event on the Capitol steps where speakers said this is one of the most impactful pieces of legislation in decades that has a realistic chance of passing. They say the PRO Act is about labor law reform, but also civil rights legislation to close racial and gender wage gaps.
The evidence is overwhelming that if you want to create greater economic equality, since we've lost ground the last half century and most of the benefits our society have gone to the billionaire class and very little has gone, unlike the post-World War II period, to average working people, this would change that dramatically.
He says the PRO Act would dramatically raise incomes and improve benefits like health care, paid leave, and retirement. In Wisconsin, it would overturn the right to work law put in place under Governor Walker. Senator Tammy Baldwin has supported this legislation from the beginning, but speakers from the AFL-CIO say Senator Ron Johnson has refused to meet with them for discussion. A conservative law group is threatening to sue the Madison School District after West High School recently created 2 separate Zoom meetings to discuss the Derek Chauvin murder trial, one for parents of color and one for white parents. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty sent a letter to Superintendent Dr. Carlton Jenkins claiming the practice was a form of racial segregation. The district's public information officer says the message was poorly worded and was meant to provide families an opportunity to process their emotions and feelings, but the language used was less than sensitive. In a letter to West High parents today, Principal Karen Bones said separate affinity groups were specifically requesting by students, families, and staff of color after previous discussions, quote, where they expressed frustration having to justify their experiences and perspectives, end quote. We are looking back on the Derek Chauvin trial and asking the Madison community what hopes they hold for the future following the guilty verdict. Take a listen.
Yeah, I don't know, I just feel like it's brought a lot to the community, a lot of emotion, so hopefully we can get some healing.
I felt initial joy. I think, I'd be remiss to not say that I was very happy with the decision, but then I remembered, that this is more accountability more than it is justice, and that there's still a lot of work to be done.
Coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 10, hear how our community is hoping to move forward when it comes to their relationship with police here in Madison and across the country.
UW-Madison leaders say several students may face disciplinary action for violating public health orders during the Mifflin Street block party over the weekend. Thousands of partygoers were packed together with few people wearing masks. The statement also says the university is also investigating after video of a vandalized SUV with a broken windshield circulated on social media. Other images showed people standing on the car A GoFundMe organized by that vehicle's owner's boyfriend says they're raising money to replace the driver's side window, the rear window, and repair dents to the hood, trunk, and roof. It says the interior is filled with broken glass and shards of metal from a railroad spike that was used to destroy the car. Madison police are working to identify a suspect or suspects. Coming up next at 6, although children aren't eligible for the vaccine, local doctors are reminding parents about the routine shots they should be getting that may have been put on hold during the pandemic. That's ahead. Stay with us.
It's spring, the perfect time to update your home. And right now, during Steinhoffel's Room Design event, you can save 35 to 50% on all the latest styles and trends. And with Steinhoffel's decorating solutions, our designers will help make refreshing your home a breeze. Steinhoffel's has the largest selection of in-stock furniture and mattresses, all under one roof. The Room Design event, only at Steinhoffel's and steinhoffels.com.
The light at the end of the tunnel isn't shining so brightly for everyone. Families continue to fight for survival. Some jobs are gone forever. Bills pile up. But please know, you have not been forgotten. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
Here at Weedman Lawn Care, we believe that your lawn should be a place where memories are made, a source of pride, relaxation, and fun for the whole family. That's why we proudly offer a child and pet-friendly program, so you can enjoy a healthier, greener, weed-free lawn without sacrificing peace of mind.
Our program offers effective, targeted weed control, and our golf course quality fertilizer creates a beautiful outdoor space. Don't your kids and grandkids deserve a Weedman lawn? Trust the lawn care experts. Trust Weedman.
What kind of beef do the best steakhouses serve? Meet the facts. Fact, the best steakhouses serve prime beef, and Hy-Vee has prime reserve beef. So you can get steakhouse quality right in your own backyard from Hy-Vee. If you want to know who's passionate about prime beef, get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Watching News 3 Now at 6.
It's National Infant Immunization Week, and UW Health is reminding parents about the importance of their child's routine shots. CDC data shows that many families skipped or postponed vaccinations in 2020 as a result of safer at-home orders, including shots for whooping cough, meningitis, measles, and polio. Doctors are worried that if kids are not up to date on their immunizations, there could be outbreaks in other diseases besides coronavirus.
In many areas of the state, that 20% of vaccines have been missed, and our herd immunity is starting to diminish enough that I do get worried that we're going to start to see not only reintroduction, but then spread through those communities. And it's a lot harder to rein it back in rather than just prevent it while we can.
Doctors are reminding people that it is safe to come to hospitals to receive your vaccines, but be sure to contact your provider before setting up appointments. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office is sending out what officials called a sobering reminder of the importance of paying attention while driving, especially in work zones. This morning, a county highway worker was one of several doing maintenance work on the shoulder of Highway 71 near Kendall when a semi hit their vehicle from behind. The highway worker was injured and taken to the hospital. The semi driver was not injured. Officials say this is a clear reminder of the reason for Work Zone Awareness Week, which kicks off today. They ask people to stay alert, and when you see work zone vehicles or workers, slow down and move over.
Still ahead at 6, a Sauk County man who was trying to renovate an old bank now has to deal with an expensive sewage issue. Why the pandemic may have contributed to the waste backup issue. And tomorrow could see high temperatures in the upper 70s, but have your rain gear ready. Gary will have the details in your First Warn forecast.
Tonight on CBS, the night starts with The Neighborhood, followed by Bob Hart's Abishola. Then it's time for drama with All Rise and Bull. Then get a complete wrap-up of the day's news on News 3 Now at 10.
Menards has what you need to keep your home safe. From smoke and carbon monoxide alarms to fire extinguishers and more. Kidde Home Safety products keep your family protected from emergencies. Grab a smoke alarm with a sealed-in battery. It lasts up to 10 years, so you can have peace of mind without changing batteries. Save 11% on all Kidde Home Safety products at Menards.
Save big money at Menards. My husband's parents were visiting, and I promised them a home-cooked meal, except my boss had a different idea. He tells me, hold your horses. I call my husband, and I say, I'm slammed, and he's like, Quick Trip, and I'm like, bingo. At Quick Trip, I say, what's good tonight? And the Quick Trip guy is like, everything, but I go for the hand-breaded fried chicken, and I go, make that ×4. Being none the wiser, my mother-in-law is like, I always said she's a keeper. I'll run with that.
Quick Trip, we got you covered.
To be a thriver with metastatic breast cancer means asking for what we want and need. And we need more time. So we want Kisqali. Living longer is possible and proven with Kisqali when taken with a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor in premenopausal women with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Kisqali is not approved for use with tamoxifen. Ask your doctor about living longer with Kisqali.
Is your credit score getting in the way of things you want to do? Personal loans through NetCredit help you borrow up to $10,000. So check your eligibility on netcredit.com today without affecting your credit score. You may even be able to build your credit history as you repay. NetCredit, a more personal loan.
Hi, folks. Tuesday morning, we're going to take you to a unique resale shop in the 608. And the last round of students return to Madison schools will tell you what they can expect. We'll see you starting at 4:30 on News 3 Now this morning.
Watching News 3 Now at 6.
Well, there's some irony in the fact that Clorox wipes, things meant to help us stay clean, caused a disgustingly dirty situation for a new building owner.
Jamie Perez shows us what the cost of cleanliness did to him, with the hopes that you think before you flush.
This is a 100-year-old bank building.
A building that Benjamin Nelms hoped he could renovate for the community to use. But instead...
It's kind of funny. The reason I wanted to renovate this building was maybe to get involved with the community a little bit. This is not the way I intended to get to know the community.
He ended up ankle deep in their waste.
This room was covered in brown water, and my new shower was just covered in brown filth. It's all been sterilized since then.
Nelms said he cleared out around 100 gallons of sewage out of his basement about 2 weeks ago.
I'll show you where the worst of it was. So this was standing water. What happened was, this is a fun room, Jamie. Water was coming up through this urinal, and it had covered everything.
The cause? A backed up pipe blocked by things like Clorox wipes.
Seeing a lot of wipes, towels, maybe even a little bit of clothing, but just things that we just really don't want to see come down the toilet.
The city told Nelms it's not responsible for the cost, putting him out more than $3,000 out of pocket. Nelms' neighbor across the street didn't get it as bad, but still felt the impacts.
Luckily for me, I only had like an erupting toilet, but I know my neighbors had it much worse. So if we can get the word out, you know, that people should not be putting extra cleaning things down their toilets during COVID, I think that would help alleviate the problem that we saw.
Nelms hopes that by sharing his story, it will resonate with someone to only flush what is meant to be flushed.
Someone like me could be you next week, who's not only vacuuming out someone else's urine and feces, but also paying yourself out of your own pocket. We can't have that.
For News 3 Now, I'm Jamie Perez.
The wastewater management folks say they've never seen issues this bad happen before COVID. They want to remind people the only thing that should be flushed down is human waste and toilet paper.
Gary joins us now with a warm but possibly rainy forecast. Gary?
Well, let's hope we get some rain, but that probably won't occur until tomorrow night. You can see most of the rain is up in northern Wisconsin, some showers, even a few thunderstorms, and then that transitions over to snow in the eastern portion of upper Michigan. While our temperatures have been very warm, those temperatures are still quite cold to our north. And in between, that's a contrast zone where there could be more thunderstorm activity tomorrow. Storm Prediction Center has a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms, mainly over central and northern Wisconsin, north of a stationary front. That's where hail might be a possibility. Not looking for widespread severe weather, and while it may be possible for a stronger storm or two to get about as far south as Madison, most of that will occur during the afternoon. By the time the storms get here tomorrow night, things will be cooling down a little bit and the atmosphere should be a little bit more stable. But 3 things you need to know in the forecast: look for high temperatures back into the upper 70s and lower 80s for tomorrow with breezy southerly winds. Then those thunderstorm chances arrive tomorrow night into Wednesday, and cooler weather arrives at the end of the week with high temperatures back in the lower 60s for Thursday and Friday, but we'll see those temperatures warm back up as we head into next weekend. Low temperatures this morning in the 30s through most of Wisconsin. La Crosse stayed at 41, but Rhinelander dipped to 29 degrees. Take a look where temperatures got up to this afternoon. 75 Madison. Milwaukee stayed at 58. Rhinelander only went up a few degrees to 36 degrees. So they're north of that warm front, but south of the warm front, temperatures were well into the 80s, mid-80s over parts of northern Illinois and central Iowa. But that air is very dry. When you have dry air, you can see those big temperature swings. Cold in the morning, warm in the afternoon. Notice the relative humidities. 30–40% here in southern Wisconsin. Up to the north, that's where the humidities are higher. That's where the rain has been occurring this afternoon. Could we get some more precipitation? In the short term, showers, thunderstorms, mainly tomorrow night into Wednesday, could bring about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch generally across much of southern and central Wisconsin. A few places may get more than that in a heavier thunderstorm, but some places may see a little bit less. Then we'll see a break in the rain through the weekend, and then next week, some more shower and thunderstorm chances in the Monday, Tuesday time frame, and that could bring an additional, say, ½ inch to 1.5 inches of rain. So that would be a good soaking rate. If we can get 2 to 3 inches of rain over a 10-day period, that's plenty of rain without running into flooding issues. But right now, again, most of the rain is up to the north as that warmer and slightly drier air moves in from the south. But eventually those southerly winds or southwesterly winds aloft will start bringing in more moisture. There's the warm front that divides temperatures in the 80s and 90s to our south and west to 30s up near Lake Superior. So our forecast for tomorrow calls for a high of 79 in Madison. Could be a chance for a late afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Better chances will arrive tomorrow night. Tonight, a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm. Otherwise, low temperatures, lower 60s. Highs tomorrow near 80 here in Madison, a little cooler up to the north, around 80 to the south. Then showers and thunderstorms tomorrow night, and then Wednesday some more showers, perhaps an isolated thunderstorm, highs in the mid-60s. Rainfall amounts, ½ inch to 1 inch, especially north of Madison. More spotty precipitation to the south. 7 to 10-day forecast, a little cooler for the end of the week, a nice weekend, and then temperatures staying mild for much of next week, but also some showers and thunderstorms in the Monday, Tuesday time frame.
And coming up in sports, Aaron Rodgers, his contract, and the Packers. Why Green Bay's GM says they're working on it. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
WILDE Towne Honda is Wisconsin's Dealer of the Year. Save with 0% financing for up to 60 months on over 400 new Hondas. At WILDE Towne Honda in Madison. It's gotta be wild.
Millions of customers are leaving their providers and switching to Spectrum. And if you have satellite, it's not hard to see why. Because unlike satellite, Spectrum gives you all the services you need, like internet and TV from one provider. They do? Yeah, they do. And Spectrum has the fastest download speeds with the most reliable performance. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds at 200 megabits for $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. Spectrum wins on TV, too. Unlike satellite, Spectrum doesn't have an ugly dish to install. And you get exclusive premium original content with Spectrum Originals. Wow, really? Really. Plus, Spectrum has more free HD and free on demand. Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. And unlike satellite providers, Spectrum doesn't have contracts or early termination fees. We'll even buy out your current contract up to $500. Switch to America's fastest growing internet, TV, and voice provider. Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each. Ask about our easy self-install options. Call 833-909-4499.
Americans have been cutting the lawn for 100 years, but with TurfBot's mowing service, the future of mowing is now. Our quiet, all-electric robotic mowers work around the clock to keep your lawn trimmed 24/7. That means less time spent mowing and more time spent enjoying. Equipped with LED headlights, auto-stop sensors, and anti-theft GPS devices, our mowers run safely with no supervision. Come home to a freshly mowed lawn every day for as little as $24 a week. Call today to request your free demo or get a quote. TurfBot.
I tried a laxative that's both gentle and fast.
Great tasting Dalcolac Soft Chews works naturally with the water in your body in as little as 30 minutes. Puts you comfortably in control. Dalcolac Soft Chews.
At Wild East Towne Honda, lease a new Civic for $189. That's $189 and absolutely zero due at signing. Save on over 400 new Hondas at Wild East Towne Honda in Madison. It's gotta be wild.
Find the defendant guilty.
This is more accountability more than it is justice, and that there's still a lot of work to be done.
Leah Linscheid reached out on the street to hear what you have to say.
It gives me a lot of hope for justice moving forward.
Tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
In last year's NFL draft, the Packers shocked Packer Nation and Aaron Rodgers when they took Jordan Love in the first round. This year, they hold the 29th overall pick, but today there wasn't much draft talk. Instead, it was on Aaron Rodgers and his contract and Green Bay's salary cap. A long-term extension or a restructure of number 12's contract would help lower the Packers' cap number. And according to Brian Gutekunst, they're working through things.
Aaron's our guy. He's going to be our quarterback for the foreseeable future. We're excited about, kind of the things we're going to try to accomplish here over the next couple of years. So, with the contract that you're kind of talking about, it's something we'll work through. We're going to have to do probably a few things with different contracts as we head towards the season and through the season to make sure that our salary cap situation, not only this year, but in 2022 is square.
Entering spring ball, Jim Leonhard had to be feeling pretty good about what he had coming back on defense. Just about everyone returned for another year, and last season as a unit, they were among the nation's best. Wisconsin was top 5 in total defense and rushing defense. But what happened in 2020, it doesn't mean anything in 2021. The challenge for the Badgers now, be better than they were last year on defense.
Just because they're back doesn't mean, they don't want to be, and we don't want them to be the same person, so kind of anxious to see kind of how this defense comes together. And, spring's the start of it. It's early, but obviously appreciate and like what they've started certainly to this point.
Fresh off yet another series win over the Cubs, the Brewers enter their series against the Marlins on a roll, winning 5 of their last 6. And the league has taken notice. The Crew enter this week's Major League Baseball power rankings at number 5, behind only the Dodgers, A's, Padres, and Red Sox. And Aleem Ford is heading to Puerto Rico to play with professional hoops with the Ponce Lions. The franchise selected the former Badger first overall in the National Superior Basketball's new entry draft. Last season, Ford averaged under 9 points and 4 rebounds per game. Gary, Puerto Rico, normally pretty well sunny, huh?
Yeah, and we're at least going to be warm for the next couple of days. Right now, temperatures still in the middle 70s to near 80 degrees. Look for those wind gusts to start coming down later on tonight. Tomorrow, look for a high temperature near 80 with some late afternoon thunderstorms. Better chances for rain tomorrow night.
Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.